Okay, so today I'm going to be demoing a new version of Pylents. Pylents is an implementation of Ents, which is a specification I made for assigning nested tags to files in especially like a Unix terminal. And then no tool like this immediately exists. So I'm going to walk through the specification first. Um, So this is an example of an ents file, and then we have a few different types of tags. We have our normal tag, we have an exclusive tag, a dud tag, a few more I might add later, and then also aliases. The normal tag kind of just functions like a normal nested tree syntax. Nesting is denoted by 4 spaces each. The exclusive tag is made so that you can either assign the exclusive tag itself to a file or one of its children to a file, but not both. This is for clean tag spaces, especially if you have something that might fall in that category, but there are not enough files there to warrant its own tag. That's where the exclusive tag might come in. And then there's also the dud tag, which is an organizational container for tags, but is not a labeler for tags itself. So you can't assign it, or is not a labeler for files itself. So you can't assign it to files, but everything in it you can, and then you can use this for queries to see what type of what files you have that have been assigned a media source yet and which ones haven't. There is then I finally have aliases, which makes assigning and lookup a bit easier. And some future implementations, I might add scalars, which I might denote with the right bracket and then maybe the magnitude either there, maybe in square brackets. I'm not sure yet. And then well, this would be an enum because it would be a scalar with alphanumeric descriptions attached to the number values, and then maybe a pick one or a pick few tag. Where if I have something like this, then it constrains it so that each file can only be assigned one. Each file can only be assigned one child tag, and then there's stuff I can do with nesting and recursion, like I don't know, options I could do with that. Like you can assign 2 tags. Down 2 nesting levels for each or something like that, and then maybe put that in brackets or something like that. Oops. Can't exit Vim. The so the overall architecture of it, the design choices I made was so the Ents custom schema that complies to this, to a parser written in Haskell, which I chose because Haskell is the best language for parsers, and I'm still learning Haskell. And there are some elements that are not all too familiar for me, but here's the parser. Then it outputs JSON, and then you have these 2 files, which merge the JSON. So if you hide a file, or if you hide a tag, but you want to bring it back later, maybe it'll denote it showed or hidden. So that way it doesn't get rid of your file, or it doesn't get rid of your tag to file assignments in case you remove a tag but you want to bring it back. And other stuff like that. It handles alias merging. It handles ancestry merging. This logic right here. Then it outputs a JSON, and then there's a pretty print script here as well that makes it human readable. The JSON structure is flat, so it's not nested. It would be on lookup. This means that it's a lot easier to write lookup logic for it. It's way easier to write lookup logic for it in Python. I attempted to make a custom binary file format for nested tags to files. This is an attempt at making, like, I don't know, a general organizational system will come later, but right now I'm trying to keep the application focused from just nested tags to files on your file system. And you see your show, your ancestry, your tag type, immediate parent. I don't actually think I need this field anymore now that I think about it, but yeah, this is the tags.json, and then there is this Python script which does the querying, and then I could I guess I'll briefly mention a couple functions. I could go into it, but then the video would get too long. But it's only 250 lines of Python. It's not crazy, but yeah, so there are multiple commands which use the same aliases. So I have this helper function here, so I don't have to write everything twice. This is kind of the main. This kind of handles the main functionality. So there's file to tag and tag to file commands. But both commands use the same function here. It handles the different types of tags differently. Then there are these helper functions which traverse down the tree. The ancestry is already there, so there's not really any command for traversing up. It returns this. I don't need this. This is not a useful variable, but it returns this into the filter command, and then it does that there because this is a helper command that's also used up here. Same thing with this. This is the representation of it, but this inspect command is used up here for assignment. And then here you have you're handling the commands. So you like your file to tag and your tag to file, and then there's logic here that puts it into that function there. Just make sure it does it in the same order, so that way you don't need multiple tags. Multiple functions to do basically the same thing. And then for the for the demo, so I'm gonna demo. I think I'll demonstrate the alias first. So I have this movie script in here. So the Pylents filter. That's to get what tags are assigned, what files are assigned to tag. So FR for France. It returns the same thing. And then that's up here. That's handled up here. The aliases are stored up here. The tags are on there. Pylents filter France. Some of this code I wrote a month ago. Pylents. So if I were to query, so if I had an exclusive tag, right? Pylents filter instruction sets. All these would come up. But if I try to assign tag to file, add instruction sets to an ARM PDF, it won't let me because the ARM child tag is already assigned to that file. And if I tried to do it the other way around, where I had so if I wanted to see, I need to add an explicit option. I haven't done that, but and then the other way around, if I had so if I wanted to look at the tags assigned to this file here, Pylents inspect AVR, we'll see that it's assigned to the exclusive tag instruction sense. But if I try to assign it the AVR tag, which is nested in it, it won't let me. And then if I look it up again, it shows me that there. The dud tag, if I wanted to see what media sources, what files have been assigned to media sources, it would be these. So like this is a movie script, but if I wanted to assign sources, the literal tag, to that script, it won't let me assign the dud tag to it. And then I envision it to be really useful for researchers who have to go through a lot of files, researchers to go through a lot of files. And then I imagine it's maybe extensible schema. I imagine it to potentially be useful for people writing Docker containers, or like make files, or any type of configuration language where there might be a lot of syntax, where there's a lot of intersections. I imagine ENTs could be a lot simpler for that, because I mean, if you compare it, this is human readable and editable. This is not really. And then I also plan on doing a Rust rewrite, because right now I have it in a Nix shell. Right now I have it in a Nix flake, and the shell command handling is just, it's kind of like really stitched together kind of haphazardly, and I think doing a Rust rewrite would make it a lot. It would make it a lot better, because I could ship it as a binary. For the Haskell parser, I'd either have to rewrite the Haskell parser in Rust, or I would have to figure out how to get the Haskell object files into the Rust function interface. I haven't done something like that. That would be fun, but. And then finally, I want to demo another program called Glass, which is supposed to implement with Ents later, and it's kind of like the find command, but written in Ent curses, and has like Vim-like key bindings for selecting all the files in a folder. And then there are two modes. Right now, the default mode just prints out the file names with / escape spaces. And then there's also the edit in place mode, tags.json, and then we're gonna go. Oops, actually that was a typo. Language specs. So like here, right? If I wanted to add or remove one of these, I think I kind of have all these already marked. But if I wanted to add this file to language specs, then it would do that, and then I could do Pylents filter. Then the Weasel file is there, and then it's not really integrated in the Nix shell, and then that's gonna just become part of a whole ecosystem once I write the Rust version. So.